Hello, my name is Zayan Ahmed and I'm a working DevOps professional. So today I'll be talking about auto-scaling metrics that actually make sense, right? Beyond just CPU and memory. So you would have seen, if you are an experienced DevOps engineer, that only expanding on CPU and memory is not always the correct option. Sometimes you need to go beyond. For example, you have an application that's managing and responding to thousands of concurrent responses, right? An API request. So your CPU and memory may be just fine, but your network gets a bottleneck. That's where you need to go beyond CPU and metrics. For example, you can use custom metrics for number of requests. For example, you can have 100 requests and then scale your auto scaling group to two instances from one, right? Number two is queue depth. So queue depth is when we are scaling based on worker environments. For example, you have a queue, SQS queue, and your data is coming in, right? And your workers are managing all the processing behind those requests, right? And then your CPU and memory works fine, but workers need to be scaling based on how much lag there is between the queue. By lag, I mean how much time it takes for the request to be seated in your queue and then being processed, right? So that's where latency really comes in, because you don't want your customers to be waiting multiple minutes, right? 5 minutes, 6 minutes. You want it to be under 1 minute, for example. So you can have a custom metric on based on how much lag it is there between your application processing the request and it sitting in a queue. So at number three, we will have response time. Here we measure the end-to-end response type our application is providing to our users and then scale based on that, right? So always think from users' perspective, because they are what you are building your application for, not some technical jargon. And number four, business logic. You don't only be depending on your technical logic and technical metrics, right? For example, you are an e-commerce store and you can scale your application based on the active cards or active user sessions you got. This way, your application is always real time and without any downtime or without any latency. No matter how much traffic you are getting, your application will always be on top of that. So this way, you're not only limited to CPU and memory metrics, you're scaling beyond that.